So this is like a quick follow up on what I mean when it comes to like jobs are being replaced and et cetera, when it comes to AI. So here's the thing. The way that AI is working right now is it goes through our economy and like starts automating and autograding and whatever thing that it's doing is that the high end jobs, the ones that are like super intelligent, knowledge working jobs, those are becoming specialized. And so if you are an attorney, an accountant, a doctor, you are going to be specialized in whatever niche and you will be the human version of that. We're not really upgrading anyone through the ranks of any of the schools to become a next version of a general practitioner in anything. You have to be a niche person to actually get that kind of job anymore. So you will be in a great area if you focus. And what will happen is that the elite and the rich and the well connected and the spiritual, frankly, will be able to have access to human doctors, attorneys, accountants, nurses, those folks. The rest of us, the mass folks, will be relegated to AI automation, like an AI nurse that's going to give you prescriptions and then do your scheduling for you. And then every once a year or twice a year, you'll be able to go into a clinic and actually meet with someone and maybe shake their hand, maybe not. It is probably going to be more like an MRI technician experience. For those who know what that is, you go in, you do an appointment. Maybe a nurse comes in, takes your blood. That's about it. Um, and if you're an attorney, same kind of deal. Most of the forms and templates will be automated. Most people will be able to write their own contracts with ChatGPT or some derivative of, and that'll be what it is. And same thing with accountants. And only those people who can actually afford humans to actually give nuance and context will be able to. It's going to cost at a premium. And those people who are at that top echelon, that 20 percenters who've been around for 20 years, 35 years, whatever, they are going to be all that is left because we're not graduating anyone up through the ranks fast enough to be in that capacity, nor are we giving them the entry level work and experience that they would have to need to actually become those people anymore because all that stuff is going to be automated. So very efficient, but also we're pulling up the moat or pulling up the ladder on the moat, and there is no way you're ever going to be able to achieve those people. And we're going to have them for like 15, 20 more years. And after that, we will have specialized colleges and universities in which we'll graduate an elite core of folks who will become specialists in eye, throat, doctor, or this kind of, EU regulatory. You own a business in Belgium, but it operates out of Germany, but you're selling the product to France and to Jamaica, but also it's got to go through customs through America and Canada. And that human is going to have connections and relationships and develop a strategy that's unique to you that you would not necessarily want to run through an AI program because maybe it's a little bit, you got to talk about something that you don't really want to be written down, that kind of stuff. And in fact, secrecy and discretion is going to be a human trait and a valuable thing. Wouldn't it be nice to just have a nice, straight up conversation with someone who has a legal representation and a requirement to not disclose what they hear? Uh, AI can't do that. I mean, without a subpoena, you can, it, it's easy to turn over the data. It's very easy. But with the human, I mean, it's conversation, and you got client privileges and all this other stuff. That hey, and no one's writing anything down. It's not like you're going to be able to like back it up on any kind of document. So that's going to be at a premium. We're not going to have less. We're going to have more of that, and it's going to be in a very specialized way that happens. Sorry about that. I'm getting called all the time. So, on the other end, you're going to have automation for drivers and back office entry level work. That's going to be sort of like make work again. This is the required work that makes us be able to become better at what we need to become and to go up into our career. You have to be a legal assistant, to become a legal secretary, to become a paralegal, to become get to the bar and then do the bar and then become an attorney and then all that stuff gets wiped out in the very bottom end. And so it will be something where you don't even like get to drive anymore. And that's not a bad thing. We will have specialized drivers. Again, I will repeat that. We will have specialized drivers, and it'll be a good thing for those who are driving because they're going to be highly credentialed. Think of them as like airline pilots or railway conductors. That's kind of where they're going to go. And everyone in the middle, in theory, is going to be figuring it out. Some middle management positions are going to go away. Some are going to be there and valuable. There's a lot of. I'm not going to. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. In our economy, there's just a lot of bloat. There just always has been. Some of that has just been a largesse of the economy. We like to have concierge services. We like to be able to pick up the phone and hear a person talk to us. And we like to have people who have like 10, 15 years of experience actually know what they're doing without having to consult the AI and hunt and dig for the word, the work ourselves. But it's going to be too hard to pay for those people because you're not getting enough out of them, that to warrant the salaries that they're going to require to have those jobs. So again, is this going to make us better, worse? Is it going to be something you should be afraid of with your job? Odds are you're not going to even really be impacted for like another 3 to 5 years, unless you're in an industry that I'm not talking about. I am in the digital industry and in the religious industry. So like in the digital industry, our world is being rocked, but everyone galloped ahead, went all in on AI, and now they have all these problems and bugs, and everyone's like coming back, and there's going to be a lot of gyration of we're going to go and leap into the technology, and then the technology is not going to work as well as we thought it would, as well as we promised we would. Actually, we need a technician or a new guy to come in and actually help us get the technology to work, and that's going to be a problem because now we need someone who can actually do that. Now then suddenly that role that was a web developer is now a web technician, and now he's not a web technician, he's an AI technician. Now he's an AI technician who can actually do more with what you got. And so you don't need as many people, but that's a good thing because we're not replacing those people. So there's a little bit of a not symbiotic, there's like a homeostasis going to happen here, and a little bit symbiotic with AI. So that's fine. It's going to be fine in general. It's just gonna suck for like I don't know. Look, I've been in digital, so like when social media took off, it was a great big deal, and then when mobile applications took off, it was a great big deal. AI's taken off; it's gonna be a great big deal. For perspective, like about 6% of our GDP is tied up in AI. If you count Meta, Google, Oracle, Apple, OpenAI, data centers galore, everything like that. And for perspective, 6% of the GDP is a lot. At the height of our space race, back in the 60s when we were fighting communism in space, that was like 4.4%, 5%. And we kept it up for like 8 years, 9 years, really, before we start cutting back. But think of all the technological breakthroughs we had. Go read up on NASA of all the things. I mean, Velcro and all kinds of gadgets. All I can think of is Velcro right now, but that's just like not even true. If you go in, like NASA used to publish a book of all the things that they invented. It's like this thick, no joke, every single year of all the inventions that they came up with in that span of time. I mean, improvement on plastics and improvement on, combustibles and applied engineering and everything that comes along with it. So we're going to like hopefully have a similar breakthrough with technology because we're putting so much into it and we're throwing so much at it, and hopefully it'll give us a kind of return. Hopefully, anyway. And in that return, there will be new jobs, and in that return, there will be new opportunities, and in that return, there will be more problems, obviously, that only you can solve. So don't get frustrated, please.